and playing 4 games and then not, and like not feeling the best, and then like frustrated of like how hard I worked in the off season, and then like all I do is rehab and like continue to do this process, and just like trying to trust that the best I can. And obviously there's really frustrating days, and there's days where like it's a little bit easier and like you're very, very motivated and like you're close to the finish line of getting back and being back, and then like it's not like I have a training camp to like build up to like playing my first game again. It's like, no, like you're tossed into game.
Picture this. The WNBA wakes up to a nightmare headline. Its brightest star might come with an expiration date, and it reads 2026. Whispers are swirling from so-called experts predicting the doomsday scenario for Caitlin Clark's career, while the league reacts like someone just announced coffee's been outlawed. Between jaw-dropping theories and wild insider gossip, this isn't just sports news. It's pure, unfiltered chaos dressed in basketball shorts. Buckle up, because this saga might be wilder than a triple overtime buzzer beater.
Everyone can stop the pearl clutching for just a minute. And I say that as a turn of phrase, not because it's women's basketball. You'd realize this is the best thing imaginable for this league. And listen, I said this back when Caitlin was at Iowa, and everyone was, I thought, being overly protective of her, and I thought a lot of that had to do with like, oh, this little white girl in a black sport. And I was like, man, she is a badass and a trash talker and gives it as good as...
The WNBA's panic button hasn't just been pressed. It's been smashed into oblivion, stuck blaring in full-time crisis mode. And no, it's not over some flashy new TV deal or a jaw-dropping dunk. It's because the uncomfortable truth is sinking in. The thin line between the league and full-on rec league chaos is spelled Caitlin. Take her out of the equation, and suddenly the product on the court looks like a low-budget YouTube reel titled *My First Day at Basketball Camp Star. The math is brutal. No Caitlin, no Cunningham, no Hull, no me, no you. What's left? Angel Boat's lonely chair and a couple of dusty foam fingers from 1999, quietly wondering what happened.
Something that do not be surprised that President Trump speaks on with that kind of audience that is protective of a Caitlin Clark and what she stands for and what she represents. And they come to a conclusion that they believe she is being unfairly treated. That is going to be a problem for the WNBA. And based on Trump's history with the NFL and him being an obvious sports fan, goes to events and stuff like that, he pays attention to this kind of stuff. I'm just warning them. Watch it, because if he gets involved and that base gets involved, because somehow, some way they embrace victimhood on a part.
Let's be real. The only reason anyone's even pretending there's a debate is because it's easier than facing the ugly truth. Caitlin Clark is out here playing Grandmaster-level chess while the rest of the league is clumsily swatting at broken marbles in a game of hungry hippos. It's not even a fair fight anymore. She's threading passes that shouldn't exist, drilling shots that make physics professors reconsider their careers, while the league keeps trying to convince us that Angel Reese is must-watch TV. Angel Reese, whose highlight reel plays like it was filmed during a half-speed shoot-around in somebody's cousin's driveway. If that's your big ticket, congrats. You've just booked yourself a non-refundable trip straight to irrelevance.
She is an object of scorn for good reason. She's awesome. She's swaggery. She does turn your home crowd into a road crowd. She is a frustrating player to guard all of it. And if she is, for some of these teams, a bit of a villain, that's sweet. It only will make her better. She is already one of the 3 or 4 best players in the sport, as a lot of us thought she would be in short order. And sports are best like this.
Here's the kicker. The WNBA doesn't even seem interested in protecting Clark. If anything, it feels like they've formed a shadow committee with one mission: make her life as difficult as humanly possible. Step 1. Hire referees who apparently moonlight as stage magicians, because they've mastered the art of making perfectly good basketball plays vanish into thin air. These officials have turned WNBA games into something closer to an interpretive dance recital. One moment you're watching a flawless assist. The next you're seeing Caitlin get told her foul was actually a karmic penalty for the unforgivable crime of being too good.
Yeah, I would have loved to win one of them, but honestly, two of my most fun nights in college were after losing the national championship. Like,
yeah, fair.
We had just as much fun.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, yes, we were sad. We would have loved to win one of them. And I think I would have loved to win one of them. Not so much because, like, okay, yeah, like, I win one of them. We get, like, a ring, whatever. Like, people celebrate. But, like, honestly, I think people celebrated us just as much as they did if we, didn't win, obviously.
You could fix this easily. Fire every single one of these refs and replace them with traffic cones. At least cones don't blow calls or interpret physics like a suggestion. But no, instead we've got Angel Boat parked in the league office, playing the role of a high school principal who thinks banning chewing gum will solve every crisis. Which brings us to the only logical step: fire Angel Boat. Fire her twice just to make sure it sticks. And if Adam Silver won't step in to make that happen, fire Adam Silver too. In fact, just keep swinging the axe until someone in charge finally understands that your best player is being hunted down by incompetence.
And stop the pearl clutching for just a minute. And I say that as a turn of phrase, not because it's women's basketball. You'd realize this is the best thing imaginable for this league. And listen, I said this back when Caitlin was at Iowa, and everyone was, I thought, being overly protective of her, and I thought a lot of that had to do with, like, oh, this little white girl in a black sport. And I was like, man, she is a badass and a trash talker and gives it as good as she gets it. And
And let's drop the fairy tale that this is somehow going to fix itself. Sure, Caitlin Clark could stay in the WNBA, grit her teeth, keep putting up 30 a night, and watch her ankles get hacked to pieces by defenders who couldn't stop a folding chair rolling toward the rim. But why? Why waste the prime of your career in a league that treats you like just another jersey in the laundry bin? If she jumped to the EuroLeague, she'd make more money, play in an environment where refs don't need Google Maps to find the rulebook, and actually be respected, protected, and paid. Most importantly, she wouldn't have to pretend Angel Reese is her rival when that matchup has all the competitive intensity of a Sunday afternoon pillow fight. Here's the part no one wants to say out loud. The WNBA's overall skill level is embarrassingly low. Sure, there are a few players who can match Caitlin's speed, vision, and shooting touch. But the rest? Let's just say there's a reason 90% of the league's highlight reels are Caitlin Clark plays and the other 10% are people tripping over their own feet. And yet, the marketing machine is cranked to full power trying to sell us on Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark as must-see TV. Oh yes, please, let me clear my calendar to watch Clark methodically dismantle someone who still treats basic shooting mechanics like an optional elective.
News and some bad news for those who are fans of pretend basketball. For those who are desperate to see the WNBA succeed, even though this dump of a league can't seem to get the hell out of their own way. Now, the WNBA, they refer to these people as fans, but the rest of us, we prefer to call them the mainstream media. The good news is, WNBA ratings have been somewhat solid, even though Caitlin Clark has missed damn near the entire season.
The reality is simple. If people want to watch high-level basketball, they tune into the NBA or top-tier college games. They watch the WNBA for exactly two reasons: Caitlin Clark, and occasionally because their remote batteries died and they are stuck on ESPN2. The league can't handle that truth, so they bury it under layers of forced hype and atrocious officiating. And instead of making life easier for their one true superstar, they seem determined to drag her through a gauntlet until she either breaks down or walks away. Here's the likely ending. 2026 rolls around, the last year before Clark can walk. She surveys the scene. Refs still hopelessly lost, Angel Boat still running the league into the ground, Adam Silver still doing whatever Adam Silver does when he's not ruining the NBA All-Star game. She decides she's done. Signs with a EuroLeague team offering double the salary, teammates who double as bodyguards, and fans who actually appreciate generational talent. What happens next? A meltdown so bad even the mascots start calling in sick. Ratings nosedive faster than an off-target Reese layup. Ticket sales collapse. Those endless press releases about record-breaking growth vanish, replaced by deafening silence. ESPN quietly shifts the WNBA back to the 3 a.m. slot after the Cornhole Championships. And the only thing anyone will say about the league is, hey, whatever happened to Caitlin Clark?
But she was eliminated, swept in 2 games. But the WNBA, man, these players have been acting like they are victims. Now, Caitlin Clark has brought a whole bunch of eyes to the WNBA. And what do these players actually do? Folks, it has gotten really, really ridiculous, man, in the WNBA, because all these players are screaming racism for the fans. Yes, they are attacking the